Hello everybody, welcome back to the next episode of Kerbal Space Program. So here we are on the surface of Ike, which is where we got to last episode, and there's beautiful red planet Duna just hovering above us ever so eloquently. So in this episode we're going to get these guys back up into space again in their command module, and we're going to get them home. We're going to get them right back to Kerbin again. So let's get them back in the ship. That's first things first. We'll just do a little hop. Grab. Get up there. So the challenge is going to be here doing this in a fuel efficiently way, or in a way that we have plenty of delta V to get off this surface, rendezvous, and then escape this Duna system and get back to Kerbin again. That's going to be the trick. But I think we can do it. It honestly doesn't take that much fuel to get from Kerbin. To get from Duna back to Kerbin. It always seems like you're going to be more screwed than you really are, but it usually turns out okay. Alright, let me just do a final check here. We have both of these parachutes are good to go. We have, I think we've used every single goo. Yep, and we've used both the Science Juniors. And we've got all this data in here. We have so much data in here. What a shame that would be if we didn't get them back home again. But don't worry, we're going to get them back home again. Okay. First thing we got to do is set the command module as the target. And we're just going to wait until it gets pretty close to us. It's not going to take very long to get off this rock. And that's what Ike is. It's just a big hunk of rock. Like, probably right there is fine for our rendezvous. Rendezvous. Okay, looks like 90 degrees is straight to the right. There they are. Let's get going here. Let's do it. I'm just gonna, just like the moon, we're just going to immediately start burning for the horizon. Because it doesn't really take a whole lot of thrust to escape this thing. Ooh, look at that. So we're a little bit under. Let's see if we can raise that up. Just point this thing north a bit. Let's see if that'll help a little bit. Just want to boost this thing up. Oh, check that out. That's even better. Wow. Wow. I gotta say, that's I think that's the best rendezvous I've ever made. From the ground going up, that is the best I've ever done. I don't know what that says about my piloting skills. Probably that I'm terrible, but there we go. There we have it. Oh, look at there's a little thing we had there. Okay. So we'll just get this thing pointed in the direction we're traveling, because it's very confusing. It's hard to see. But basically, this is going to come up on us, and we're going to just kind of meet it. It is getting closer very slowly. I am very happy that it hardly used up any fuel. In fact, we're probably going to have about half, maybe 45% of the fuel left, which we can then dump back into the tanks for the command module, which will then take us the rest of the way home. So at the moment, the command module is gaining on us, which is precisely what we want. And we don't even have to worry about circularizing this or anything. We can just go for a straight up rendezvous, which we'll put this in target view. And we'll just do this like anything else. We will kill our relative velocity and point it towards the target reticle there. Right at the point where it's pretty much next to us. Had a little bit of a lag there. I'm just going to do it now. So what that's done in essence is, see it swung around like that. That's essentially done two things at once. It's put us into orbit, and also it's secured our ship basically going the correct direction. So we're now in orbit and we're flying towards the target. We're going to meet up at about 100 meters, which is so perfect. I love doing rendezvous around little tiny moons like this. They're so much easier than a rendezvous, say, around Kerbin or something. Anyway, so I'm just going to let this, like, we're traveling towards the target at 13 meters per second. I'm just going to push this thing, make sure that it is staying right on target. Basically flying backwards at it. Oh, look how cool that looks. That's a nice little picture right there. Tiny little speck. Alright, enough goofing around. If I'm not careful, I'll smash right into this thing at 10 meters per second. And that won't be good for anything. That won't be good for poor Bill sitting in there. Of course, it wouldn't be good for us either. We'd lose this engine. But anyways, coming in quick now. It's tough to see it because we are on the dark side. I'm just going by the numbers alone here. Just gonna slow it down even further to a nice, comfortable 1 meter per second. It's very hard to see it, but that's it up there. Probably even more hard for you guys to see it because for some reason YouTube likes to make everything dark. I'm just gonna wait till this thing gets nice and close. There we are. Let's see. That's 180. I'm gonna push this thing up a little bit. Just gonna push north because I want to get on top of it. You can see it a little more now, silhouetted against the background there. Just to get ourselves above it and in position to redock. That's good right there. There. Just gonna switch over and ooh, this thing has fallen out of its northern attitude. It's got a bad attitude. Little space joke. Anyway, that's my sense of humor, everybody. I apologize. Alright, let's put this thing exactly south. And I'm gonna do the rest of the work in the command module here. Put it in Dr. Choice view. Get it? Like how? Sorry, I'll shut up now. Seriously, I got the worst sense of humor. Alright. It's kind of hard to see it, but we'll just make sure this thing is nice and lined up. And we'll just now push the L key, move it this way. Make sure we're right on target. Very slow process. And cancel the velocity. Let's start pushing forwards because we're pretty much there. And if you take a look at the nav ball, yeah, we are right on target. Just kind of jumbling around, but it looks like we're right there. That's gonna be the thumbnail right there. Alright. Yeah, we're right there. We got it. Wow. Pretty darn good, huh? What do you say? Alright, let's switch the cameras back. We are connected. So at this point, I'm just going to now take all this fuel. Yeah, we ended up with actually more than half. That was perfect. And we're going to just dump it all into here. We need it. Don't need it in here anymore, that's for sure. Drifting a little bit. Let's take a look. Yeah. So total delta V about 2,000. Honestly, it's gonna take less than 1,000, I think, to get back home again. We'll shut down this engine. All we want is these 4 nuclear engines. Perfect. Alright. Do a quick save, and now that I feel good about it. Okay, so the next thing that's important that we have to do, we have to line up our phase angles again. And from Duna to Kerbin, it's got to be a negative 75.19 degree angle. Oh. For some reason, it's not showing it, which is quite strange. Maybe it's because I'm in orbit around Ike, it doesn't really like it. But, we'll figure it out. Let's see. Have a little look here. Negative 75. I'm not really sure why that thing's not working. It should be showing us all the celestial bodies, and I think it has to do with because I'm around Ike, and it doesn't really know what to do when it's around Ike. I'm not really sure. I might finagle with it and try to mess around with it. Hold on, give me a second here. Do a little cut. So this is what I've had to make. I went back to the Space Center. Hello, Kerbin. It's been a long time. And I made a little probe with a solar panel and a flight engineer. Because for some reason it wasn't showing me the... See, when you hit that button, it's supposed to show you all the bodies, but for some reason when I'm around Ike, it didn't want to show them. I don't know. So, let's see... Duna, current phase angle is 312, which is not what we want. We want negative 75.19. So let's just go ahead and do that. Let's try to get it that way. If I remember correctly, I believe Kerbin has to be a little behind Duna. I think that's what it has to be. Something like that. Ooh, here comes asteroids. We're gonna get smashed. Imagine we get back from Duna and Kerbin's just a big fireball of wreckage. Alright, well this is going to take a while, so I'm going to do a little cut. Alright, we're coming up on it now. We want negative 75.19 approximately. So we're just going to be very careful. Almost there, almost blew it. Now the reason, like, I know I said negative, oh, there we are, negative 75.19, but because this is calculating from Kerbin, it thinks that it's positive, but when we get back to Duna, it's going to be, technically it's negative, but this is where we want to be at, roughly this 75 degree angle here. Righto, so let's go back to the Space Center. We've pretty much fast forwarded like a year basically. So we'll just go back and see how the guys are doing. They're sitting in orbit for the past year. There they are. They're getting a little feisty. They want to go home. Sorry guys. Sometimes you gotta do crazy things. Alright. Yeah, see, like, it's still not showing it, but it's okay. We don't really need that information particularly. We know that we're at the correct phase angle because we lined it up. Set Kerbin as the target. There's a few ways to do this. Some people like to burn retrograde along Ike's orbit, get back into orbit around Duna, and then burn from Duna, just because you get Duna's more massive, you get more of a slingshot. But I like to do things a little differently, because honestly I think that's a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna literally burn, well, practically where it is right now. We might have to make another circle, but I'm just gonna burn over here along this backwards. Yeah, that's not quite right. Let's see, let me set it up right. So that this purple one is going basically retro orbit over here. Now it's not the most efficient thing in the world, but it'll get us home. I might have to do it a little more along this route. There, we're coming in there a little bit. Just have to finagle it. It looks like... gotta get it just right. Again, it's tough doing these things. Come on, gimme. Ah, I hate how it's like so tough. Ah, for Christ's sakes. Jesus. It's tough to see it when you're that far away. Here we are. So it's just a matter of getting these things down. I'm not quite sure why they're so far apart, because we did do the phase angle correctly. I know that for sure. We are right along that thing. But see, we're almost there, and it's only going to cost us 461. Let's see. We're about 3 million meters apart. Ooh, that's getting a little crazy. Let's see. Oh, we can make this better. All right. Kind of just dinking around with it here. I'm pulling this toggle and then kind of reversing, and it seems to be doing good things, but it's weird. It's giving me like this sort of encounter, but it's not really showing me any information, which is odd. I don't really know why it's doing that. See? I don't really quite get what that's telling me. It's like, you have an encounter. Okay, good, but what is it? I'm not really sure. Like, is it a good encounter? Is it a bad encounter? Sometimes this game is funny like that. Well, look, I think I might go with this one. And then maybe once I escape Ike, maybe it'll be better? Possibly? I don't know. I'm sure it'll tell me more information as we escape, and if it ends up being really shitty, then we can always go back and change it. But that node is coming up, but unfortunately I don't think that it's probably going to take a lot more than... Actually, we'll see. We'll see how long it's going to take. Duna must be on the other side here. Oh! We're a little late there, but that's okay. So it looks like we're burning really early, but it's the reason the node is all the way over here is because we had to pull the blue toggles, so it's kind of like confused. It doesn't really know, like... yeah. So we'll just burn our way. And like I said, we have tons of fuel, so if we need to make any sort of corrections, we can absolutely do that. We burned a little bit late, but it's not really going to affect things too much, and we have enough fuel to correct if we need to. This is going to bring us quite close to the surface. 6,000 meters above, is that right? Oh man, that's quite dangerous. But luckily we're going fast enough to where it should be okay. I've never done any kind of burn like this before. This is dangerous stuff right here. I kind of like, just out of necessity, feel like pushing it up a little bit. So it looks like we're going to smash right into it, but rest assured we won't. Just kind of look at the map view. Ooh, alright, we'll leave it at that. And it's not really there yet, but we can always fix that. We're coming in! This is where, like, this puts the hair on your chest right here. Maneuvers like this tests your resolve. How manly are you? But yeah, we're already on the way out again. We did it. Alright, nothing to worry about now. What I might do, though, is just kind of try to correct what we've got here by RCSing backwards. Just so that this thing kind of turns into a legitimate orbit, or a legitimate encounter, rather. Descending node is good, 0.1. So I'm just gonna burn backwards a little bit. Just so that it actually, like, okay, there, Kerbin encounter. And again, I wish it would tell me more information about it, but it isn't yet. Maybe we have to escape Ike. That's probably what has to happen here. So there we go, we're leaving Ike ass backwards. Or back asswards. There we go. Whee! Duna's somewhere back there. Duna should be rising any second now. Oh! Look at that. Nice, very nice. So we used Ike as a slingshot. You would probably knock off, like if I was really concerned with fuel, I would probably do what I said earlier. Fall back into Duna and use Duna as a slingshot, because it's heavier, you get more of a slingshot if you use Duna, but honestly the same physics applies around Ike. It's just less of a slingshot because it's smaller, less mass. You get less help from gravity, right, you know, so to speak. But I knew I had tons of fuel, and I just honestly didn't feel like dicking around with it. You know, it's a tedious process. You'd have to burn to get into orbit around Duna, but then the Duna orbit would have to coincide with your escape trajectory backwards along Duna's orbit, and it was just a pain in the dick, basically, and I didn't feel like dealing with it. So we did it the hot Jupiter way, which is, it'll be fine, you know. The Cavalier fashion, the Jebediah way, I like to call it. Alright, so we have escaped Ike. Hopefully now, can we get some information, please? No. We don't get any information. We get nothing. We just have encounter. You have encounter. Well, thanks a lot. Which kind of encounter do I have? This is so frustrating because it like doesn't know what to think. I don't really get it. Oh well, we'll wait till we get a little further up. Alright, so I've kind of figured it out. If we just keep pulling this toggle in, what's actually going to happen is we do get a better Kerbin periapsis. So, only to a point though. 22, 14, 10, 10. Okay, so we'll leave it right there. Because I noticed that we were Kerbin was kind of getting ahead of us. So if we burn inwards, we can make this a little better. Just gotta find out where that is. Oh, it's all the way down there. Alright. So we'll just make this burn now. We're just kind of pushing ourselves in. Alright. Let's just check what our new Kerbin periapsis is. 10. Let's see if we can finagle it with the RCS here. Try to get it down as far as possible. Getting there, getting there. 9, 8, and it looks like there we are. So that's about as good as it's gonna get from this perspective. Let's just take another quick look. Yeah, I think we're on course here. So okay, let's zoom forward a little more. So we've kind of forced ourselves to push in a little further so that we are going to catch up on it a little sooner, which is better, definitely better. So we're getting there. Counter is in a day. We're a little bit above it. I wonder if we could, well, it's kind of pointless now. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother. We're a little above it, just a touch, but that's okay. We'll kind of come in over the poles. There we go. 9 million, that's not too bad. Alright, let's go ahead and just see if we can... Yeah. Hey, you know what? We can get our polar science we never got from like many missions ago. We'll just get this right down to... well, somewhere like inside the atmosphere, like right there is probably fine. It only cost 156, so that's not too bad. This has been a pretty efficient trip. We have so much fuel left, and I was worried. I worried too much, you know. But I'll just relax a little more. So if we do the burn now, we won't have to burn as much fuel. Right down to the mark. Right about there. So we saved 33. So I'm just going to watch the periapsis height, and I'm going to wait till it gets to about 30. Oh, 26! That might be a little low. Actually, you know what? 27. We are going to be coming in pretty fast. I'll leave it at about 27, maybe 28. Yeah, right about there. Quick save. Alright, so here we are. We've got our periapsis of 28. That should be good, so we'll just zoom right along in here. There she is, our pretty little blue planet. Coming in for a nice homecoming here. So there's a couple things we want to do before we get ready to land. First I want to see if we can get some orbital science. We might be too high for it, so I don't know. Yep. think that's the North Pole. We're a little too high for orbital science, unfortunately. Here's what I do want to do, though. I want to put the fuel into here. Just in case I need to use this. Fuel is in. Try to save as much of it as possible, and we're just going to put this thing in the retro orientation. Good. And let's get these things, let's get rid of this. Thank you. Get rid of that. We'll pull both sets of panels in here, because we're definitely not going to need that. And before we do it, I'll just make sure that all these parachutes are, in fact, deployed. Alright, they all turned blue, so they're all set. And I might leave these things connected while we descend, just because, you know, I don't know, I don't want to like take any risks. I wanted to stay relatively close together until like the last minute, so what I will do is make sure to grab all the data. We'll take that data and we'll just dump it into here all before we enter the atmosphere. Come on. Come on, Bill. Alright, data stored. Good. Now I wonder... Okay, good, I can control stuff. Perfect. So we're coming in together. I want it like that, so that, because I don't want to get these things too far apart from each other. I don't want to, because I want to like make sure that they both kind of land right around the same area. And then once I feel like we're okay, then we can go ahead and split them up for, you know, when we're all ready to go. Alright, one last thing I might do is just kind of push us more this way, because I feel like we've got to activate the engine. Come on. Come on. Please let me activate the engine. Alright, it's being stupid. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Thank you. I'm just gonna push ourselves this way, and now it's not getting rid of that. Because I just get this feeling we're coming in over mountains. I took a look. And I really don't want to be over mountains. That's just something you want to avoid. So I'm going to attempt to push us away from the mountains. That's probably good. We were going to come in right around there. I really don't want to be in the mountains, because your ship just tips over and falls down and everything explodes. It's no good. So we'll just leave it at that. I heard the parachutes deploy. I'm pretty sure we're good on that regard. And we're just going to come in here. I'm going to try to leave these things connected, just so they don't like fall too far apart from each other. Ooh, it looks like we're still coming over mountains. I don't like that very much, but what can you do? Coming in hot. big mountain range. It's definitely very rocky here, and I really don't like that. Like if we landed here, that would have been perfect, but it's gonna take a little luck to get us out of this one. Maybe I can try. Oh, parachute's just deployed. Okay, so there's no changing it now. We're gonna be basically stuck in this attitude, no matter how much I try. Yeah, we're pretty much locked in here. Oh well, c'est la vie, right? Maybe we'll luck out, I don't know. Alright. I think what I'm gonna do is... I think now's a good time to undock. Quickly switch over. Make sure that... There we go. I don't know why it does that. Likes to play games with me. So we're coming in here, and this ship is also coming in there. We got some trees. I'd like to basically land in the trees. I don't want to move any further up. There we are, pretty much falling straight up and down. That's good. That should be good. There's the other ship. Hopefully the parachutes deploy right on time. And hopefully we don't separate too much. Oh, there we are. Parachutes deployed. Perfect. You know, the ship is falling like a rock now. Hopefully those parachutes will deploy on here. Please. Please. Oh god. Please. Oh, please. Oh. Jesus, Bill. Don't scare me like that. Bill likes to play games like that. Okay, this looks like relatively flat land. Thank God. Thank the Kerbin gods. I think I can just leave this one. 5.9. Well, we might damage this part of the spacecraft, but as long as this part survives, we'll be alright. That was a close one. Oh, Bill pulled the ripcord at the very last moment because he knew I was worried about it. We're only about a kilometer apart, which, you know, it's not too bad, all things considered. After the vast distances that we traveled, a mere kilometer distance is negligible, non-existent. Alright. I don't think I've ever landed anywhere near here. This is pretty nice. I rather like this area. Let's put a little thrust in. Just to give our boys a nice gentle landing. Ah, there it is. And let's just watch this one now. Hopefully this doesn't crash and burn and explode. Hey! Alright! Not bad! Let me just see if I can do a crew report. Not really letting me click it. Oh, here we go. Kerbin's Highlands. Transmit. We'll get that last little bit of science. And we can also do... I don't know why my frames are eating it right now. I'd like to click this, but it's not letting me. Oh, thank you! There we go. Record that data. Wow. We are home. That's it, boys. So let's go ahead and we will recover this vessel with all the amazing science that's on it. This is kind of a long video, I apologize. But it was worth it, right? Oh wow, so we got a nice 1900 science from that mission. Excellent. Surface samples, the EVAs, the goos, all that goo, all that materials. Excellent. We got a nice 100 and all that funds. I can't read right now. 13,000. That's from recovered parts. Cool. Because we are quite far from the KSC. And we got our 2 crewmen back. Well, let's go back and get the other one now. The command module, I think was what it was. Yes. Let's just recover that. We get an additional 260 from that. Very nice. The EVA reports and the recovery of the vessel. Again, 40% of the money back. Only 9,000. And we got our crewman bill back. So that's it. I mean, all in all, that was a really successful mission. I'm very happy that we got to go to both Duna and Ike, get both those contracts out of the way. Not to mention all this science we have. We have now 2,700 science to spend, and we're almost at 100% reputation. That's awesome. The next mission, you guessed it, we're going to Eve. So look forward to that in the next episode of Kerbal Space Program. Thanks for watching, guys. See you then.